Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Studio 512 today. Did you know the largest comedy festival in North America is held right here in our capital city? The Moontower Comedy Fest is coming up, and marketing manager Tori Schultz is here along with local comedian Avery Moore to tell us more about it. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So Avery, this is very exciting. We had you on the show last year. We just talked off camera, and Avery was like, everything I said I'd do on this show last year, I did do, which is pretty impressive. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. But Tori, first I want to come to you and talk to us a little bit about the fest. I've been before. I've seen Aziz Ansari, Amy Schumer. So these are some really big names. Talk to us about what people can expect.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can believe it, but our homegrown Austin Festival is now one of the largest in North America. We've got over 30 headliners this year, ranging from Aziz Ansari to Janelle James from Abbott Elementary. But we're Moontower, so we like to get a little weird with it. We have the Enigma that is John Waters and Adam Ray as Dr. Phil. So no matter what you're into, whether you like straight stand-up, you want some character work, or you just want to be surprised, we've got a little something for everyone.
Fantastic. And how long does the festival stretch?
So we start tomorrow, April 9th, and we go through the 19th. We're going to have headliners every single day, but our club binge is really our meat and potatoes. So from April 16th through the 19th, you're going to see club acts late into the evening, nightly parties, happy hours, all that good stuff. And you're going to get that with a club badge.
That's exciting. I mean, Austin's comedy scene has been growing exponentially, I feel, in the last couple of years. And so I know that we're going to have some really fantastic talent. I want to hear, Tori, if I can pick your brain for a second, some of the performances you in particular are looking forward to.
Oh, you know, it's so hard because we have such a wide variety. Our headliners are always a huge highlight. For me personally, I'm going to be sitting for Alex Edelman, Caitlin Riley, Mae Martin, all of those great people. But the club series, like I said, is where all the magic happens. So you're going to see these over 100 comics in downtown Austin at these intimate venues like you've never seen them before. But of course, you can see Avery there as well, too.
I love that there's a little plug for our in-studio comedian, because Avery, we're really proud that you're doing so well.
Thanks.
And can I just say, talk to me about the last year and how things have gone.
Yeah, so I think last year we spoke about how I was filming a comedy special at Moontower. I did. I had a mental breakdown.
Which means it probably was really good.
It's going to be great. And we've just been working nonstop with my friend and filmmaking partner, Frank Huesos. He's like my guiding light, my editor too. And we've just put together something really personal and awesome. And I hope everyone's going to really laugh at it.
Oh, and Tori's giving like a little. I will say I have to mention your podcast, because one of the jokes that we tell in our office all the time is, "Hey, I don't know you."
That's my purse.
Which is a joke from King of the Hill.
I have a King of the Hill podcast. We're on hiatus right now. Jake and I both lost our minds, so but I have a King of the Hill podcast called That's My Podcast, I Don't Know You.
I don't know you. Yeah, look that clip up if you haven't ever heard of it before today, because it's really fun to then scream at your coworkers. Yeah. All right, talk to us a little bit more about where people can catch you during the fest, because there are a bunch of opportunities.
So many. So I've got all my stuff next week for the club series, but I get to open for two really amazing people this week. Wednesday, tomorrow, is the opening at 7, and I'm opening for Aparna Nancherla at the State Theater next to the Paramount. And then on Friday, I'm opening for Mae Martin.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be amazing.
I just found out, so I still go when I say it.
Like shake off the nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. You have a special movie, and it is actually called Your Special Movie.
Avery's Special Movie.
And the premiere of it is going to be happening during Moontower Comedy Festival. So Can you tell me about that?
I approached Moontower in August of 2023 for this project and asked if they would help me. This is going to be my 10th Moontower, and I said, hey guys, can you help me make a comedy special? I'm an unrepresented Austin comedian and have been, and I just make art here. And they said yes,
Yay!
and they're helping me, and they are going to let me show it in a movie theater. So hopefully there will be popcorn. And honestly, no dream of mine has ever come true that's this special, so really excited.
Oh, and you actually are a big Pee Wee Herman fan?
Yes.
And so there's kind of like...
A la Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Avery's special movie. So it is a little confusing. It's a comedy special, but there's vignettes, and I wrote a song.
Oh, so much to explore with you during the next 2 weeks, Avery. I'm really liking that. And then you, as a comedian, I think it's so interesting to pick like creative brains to hear like, actually, who are you looking forward to? What are you excited about seeing? Because obviously you're going to be running around chicken with your head cut off because you've got a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
But is there anyone that you're hoping to like sneak into to see?
Well, Janine Garofalo is going to be here.
Oh my gosh, big name.
And that is just so cool.
Yeah.
And if I even just get to get my peepers on her, that'll be cool for me. But I do hope to meet her and tell her how important she is to me. But I was so excited about Aparna and also about May. But my friend Candace Medina is going to be on Moon Tower this year for the first year, and she's
exciting.
a killer. And I just can't wait to watch her just destroy everyone.
So as this is your 10th and this is your friend's first time performing, you're really going to be cheering her on.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. She's a local, so that's one of my favorites.
Okay, it's a name to write down. All right, Tori, then I have to come back to you. Badges, tickets, both are available. Talk to me about how they work.
Yeah, everything's available online right now at moontowercomedyfest.com. Headliners, which are mostly at the Paramount and State, you're going to see with a single ticket. And go ahead and snatch those up now before it's too late. They're going to sell out fast. We already have a lot of people who we have no more seats left for.
Okay.
And then if you want to see the club badge, you want the full comedy buffet, the nightly parties, the happy hours, the late night sets,
fun.
you're going to want to grab a badge at the same website, moontowercomedyfest.com. Come hang out with us next week, April 16th through the 19th.
It sounds like a ton of fun, y'all. I can't wait. Good luck. Break
you.
a leg. And thank you guys so much for your time.
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
having
it.
us. For having
Of
us.
course, headliner single tickets are available, but the badge, I hear, is the best way to fest. Get either one now at moontowercomedyfest.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Renaissance Women's Group. Are you or a loved one expecting this year? Dr. Shayla Patel, OBGYN with Renaissance Women's Group, is here with some tips for pregnant women. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to any expectant mamas out there. And we're happy to have such expertise here in the studio. So Dr. Patel, let's talk about what a pregnant woman should avoid when we come to the idea of eating.
So the main thing to avoid is bacteria that can be harmful in pregnancy. And so that would be, you'd want to avoid any raw or uncooked meats, seafood, or eggs. You want to avoid unpasteurized milk or cheese. So some of that can be some fetas, some blue cheese, and queso fresco. You want to avoid deli meats unless they're microwaved or cooked so that you can kill the bacteria. And then you want to limit seafood, I usually say, to 2 to 3 times a week to limit mercury toxicity. And that would also includes limiting, or avoiding, I should say, the bigger fish, such as like a king mackerel, big eye tuna, shark, to limit that mercury toxicity.
Let's talk about the benefits of exercise during pregnancy, because especially for first-time moms, you're going to ask your body to do something it's never done before.
Yeah, so there's many benefits to exercising in pregnancy. The main ones I always counsel about is that it decreases the risk of gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, and decreased risk of C-section, which is very important to people. It also decreases their low back pain and improves constipation, which are 2 very common symptoms in pregnancy. It helps them to maintain a healthy weight in pregnancy and avoid excessive weight gain, and then which also helps them after the baby's born to lose the weight.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I hear a lot about abdominal wall separation. So are there any types of exercise that are, safe that maybe a doctor would say, okay, these are the ones that I would suggest?
Yeah, the main things, or the main ones we recommend that are safe are walking, brisk walking, yoga, swimming is a really good exercise, and then stationary bicycling. And we recommend about 30 minutes, 5 times a week of moderate level activity.
How about any exercises to avoid? I'm going to make a guess that you're going to tell us don't go too hard.
Yes, And so exercises to avoid would be anything that can like increase the risk of harm or injury to you. So contact sports like basketball or soccer, skiing, scuba diving, skydiving. But I will say that for patients who do exercise regularly, like running, jogging, weightlifting, any racket sports, as long as they've been doing it before their pregnancy, they can continue to do them in their pregnancy. Of course, as long as, if they have any symptoms, pelvic pain, bleeding, to stop it immediately.
Dr. Patel, wonderful advice today. Thank you so much.
No, of course. Thank you.
Learn more about services provided by going to renaissancewomen's.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Renaissance Women's Group. Welcome back, everybody. Whether you're an expert or maybe you're just starting out, we have the place for your fiber craft needs. Joining us today is Erin Battle, owner of Yarn Matter. She's here to show off some of her colorful collections and to give insights into the workshops that she offers. And we're happy to have her. Erin, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we were talking off camera. This was a pandemic change for you. You got into crocheting in 2020 of all things.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, what lit you up about seeing these patterns and these colors and bringing things together.
Yeah, no, well, first of all, I discovered the world on Instagram of this fiber industry. And that's what really inspired me to start Yarn Matter. And then I discovered that you could dye yarn with things in your kitchen that I already had, like avocado pits and skins, onion skins. So that's what kind of started me down this rabbit hole.
Gotcha. And so I'm hearing sustainability is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing there's like an
Yes.
environmentally conscious edge to this.
Yes.
I do want to say you were in your master's degree for what?
Electrical and computer engineering.
Electrical and computer engineering, everybody, before we got into this. But tell me now that you've started Yarn Matter, what it is that you offer.
Yeah, so mainly I offer this hand-dyed wool, so I hand-dye all myself.
Wow.
And exclusively with natural dyes.
I'm shocked that you can get some of these colors from natural products.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you can use to get some, like I'm looking at this beautiful lime green. What on earth made that?
Yeah, so actually on each skein tag, I have the materials written. Just when people come see it in person, they're always interested in
Okay,
that.
well, I'm looking one up. Extra pure sock,
yeah.
100% extra fine merino wool, dyed with weld and madder. What's weld and madder?
So weld is like a plant, and it produces a yellow.
Uh-huh.
And then madder, it's called madder root. And you can actually plant it. It takes a few years to be able to harvest it and get the color. But yeah, it produces the red.
Oh my gosh, and it's like a gorgeous sunset ombre skein. You told me that's the correct way to say it, skein of yarn. You currently have a pie collection, and that's a lot of what you brought today. It's available for pre-order. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so there's 16 colorways, 9 semi-solids, and 7 variegates.
And variegate just means that you're seeing different colors
Yes,
in the yarn.
The multicolors.
Okay.
And these are the semi-solids up here.
I'm gonna get a whole new vocab list at the end of variegates. Okay, skein, I'm picking up on it. When are the pie collection colors going to be available?
So they're available now.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yes, and the last day to get them is actually tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so she's brought us like a time crunch here at
Yes.
Studio 512. You got to get moving today, guys, if you want some of these. You also brought with you kind of some instructions on how to do natural dyeing. Can you walk me through what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, so here is the process that I'll teach in classes for solar dyeing. So this isn't typically what I do to get these colors,
Okay.
but I find that this is easier to teach in classes, and it's a fun group activity. So what I'll have you do is we'll just take the yarn out.
Okay, and this is, oh my gosh, it feels really amazing.
It's a little wet.
And it looks like spaghetti, so it's making me hungry. And you've brought along what I have to say look like onion skins.
They are.
They are. We're dyeing with onion skins
Yes.
today.
And this was actually dyed with onion skins.
It's such a gorgeous green.
Yeah.
Okay, so what color does this kind of yellow onion skin make?
It'll range between a yellow and a brown.
A yellow and a brown, okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you put in?
There's a bit of a rule, but for this,
Okay.
as much as you want.
Okay, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just stuffing tons
Yeah,
in
just
there.
pack it in there.
Yeah, and some red onion
Either
skin to go
variety.
in it. And so
Yes.
this is just the stuff that you could peel off your groceries at home, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been pre-soaking this
have.
wool in what?
Just water.
Just water, okay.
And then, so the dyeing process requires a mordanting step, which allows the dye to properly adhere to the fiber.
Okay.
So this has been pre-mordanted.
Okay. What's mordanted mean?
It's a metal salt. So what I use is like aluminum sulfate.
Okay.
And then it's basically just a process of having this mordant bind to the fiber, which then allows you to go into the dye process.
It
And then-
absorbs.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Gotcha.
then the dyes will bind to the fiber.
Okay, and is that something that's available like at Joann Fabrics or?
Honestly, so the umbrella term is called alum.
Okay. Oh
And
yeah, I've heard of that.
yeah, you can find it in grocery stores.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So this really can be an at-home experiment.
Yeah.
So you've got cleverly got a little cable cord.
Yes.
And then so you stick it all back in together, and then how much water do you fill it up with?
Yeah, so you can just fill it up until it covers the yarn and the materials in there. And then what you do, you just leave it out in the sun for a few days and you'll start to see the color develop.
Gosh, that's really cool. And then I'm guessing there's a washing period afterwards to make
Yes.
sure it locks in.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So I'll wash it with some soap and make sure all the excess dye comes out. But yeah,
and
it's
then
ready to go.
you can work with your own dyed yarn. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
and then it
Okay.
becomes something like this.
Wow. Okay, so that's the sort of coloring that we can get from
Yes.
these two. Oh, so cool. That's so cool. I love learning things. All right, you're going to be at the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta in Seguin, so not too far. That's just a quick drive here from Austin. That's coming up at the end of the month. Real quickly, could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so it's basically like a trade show. There's going to be a whole bunch of yarn, fiber, like notions, like little accessories for knit and crochet, anything related to those crafts you can basically find there.
Awesome. And we can
there's-
visit with you.
Yes, and
Okay.
I will be there.
Okay.
There's a bunch of vendors from all over Texas.
Lovely. And then just in our last 20 seconds, you do offer classes, and I want to make sure people know about that. Things
Yes.
like dyeing.
Yes.
But can you talk to me a little bit about the other classes you offer?
Yeah, so dyeing, and then I'm doing crochet classes, Tunisian crochet classes, and those can be found at Knit ATX or Fiber Fate.
Okay, I didn't even know that Tunisian crochet was a type of crochet.
Yeah, that's this sweater.
Oh, that's this sweater, and it's gorgeous on you.
Thank you.
I learned so much today. Okay. All right. I appreciate it, Erin. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Of course. Don't forget to check out Yarn Matter at the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta on April 25th and 26th down in Seguin. And as you heard her say, you can shop all offerings at yarnmatter.com. This segment is sponsored by Plexiderm.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, we have a birthday every single year, and I think it's on that day that you really start thinking, oh no, the time is passing. But that may not necessarily be the reason that you're looking a little bit older when you take a little peek in the mirror. It's a virtual world. We're just seeing a whole lot more of ourselves nowadays. And nobody knows that better than our friend Scott DeFalco, who's going to tell us a little bit more about Plexiderm this morning. Scott, hello.
Rosie, great to be with you. Yeah, those birthdays, they seem to come quicker every year. The number goes up, and people have the misconception that just because they're getting older, or maybe that they have too many wrinkles, that they can't deal with them. And that's just not true. With Plexiderm's new Rapid Reduction Serum, we're going to reduce the appearance of all the key signs of aging in less than 10 minutes, Rosie. It is the in the moment, I need results now product, and it's completely topical. That's why people love it, but we're going to jump right into the before and after pictures so people can see how effective this product will be.
Absolutely. In fact, this is one of my favorite things to do is when you're on Amazon or something like that, I want to see the before and afters. So this is going to be one of my favorite versions.
The proof isn't in the pudding, it's in the pictures.
It's in the pictures. Okay, we got Laura, we got Penny, we got Rose.
Three lovely ladies right here that are dealing with issues, especially around the mouth. You can see it with Penny, and you can imagine how she felt after she put Plexiderm's Rapid Reduction Serum on. I mean, it's a dramatic improvement, and to see it on your screen is pretty amazing, but to be there and witness it in person like I was, Rosie, it's mind-blowing. The people feel so much better about themselves. And all they do is put a small amount on that problem area, wait 10 minutes, and they're seeing the results you're seeing on the screen.
Absolutely. It's incredible that that's not retouched. It's incredible that we're just talking product photos. It's crazy stuff. Let's talk about Maria, Rita, Samantha.
This is actually my favorite montage, Rosie, because the reason why people originally turned to Plexiderm was for the 3-dimensional bag. Now, these are 3 different ladies in 3 completely different age groups, spanning about 25 years. They have the dark circles, they have the under eye bags, but it didn't matter how old or young they were or the issues that they had. You can see what Plexiderm did for them. It completely got rid of the dark circles and the under eye bag. So people can get these issues at any age, really, even in their 20s, depending on genetics, lifestyle choices. Maybe they have allergies, didn't get enough sleep, but it does not matter with Plexiderm. It does not discriminate. We take care of all age groups for men and women.
I'm glad you brought up men as well, because our next montage includes Mona, Carol, and now we've got a man in the mix. We've got Don.
My guy, Don, I love Don, and he had the forehead lines that he was dealing with, the deep set forehead lines, Mona with the under eye bags, and Carol with the laugh lines around her eyes and those crow's feet. I wanted to talk to the guys right now, Rosie, because there's a misconception out there, again, for the men that, they can't get female products or, that they shouldn't use them and this and that. That is out the window, fellas. It's okay for you to take care of yourself and look better. And for that, you're going to want to use products like this, or what people normally refer to as women's products. They're not just for women, they're for everybody. The men make up a big part of our fan base with Plexiderm, because with our new serum, it goes on clear. So there's no chalky white residue, so men can put it on. It's like a moisturizer. It goes right into your skin. So that's one of the reasons why men love it. And for the females out there, the number one question I get, the number one question I get is, do you have any free samples? And the second question I get is, does this work with makeup? And again, it works great with makeup because it goes on clear. So ladies, if you're watching right now, put Plexiderm on a clean, dry face, wait 10 minutes, then use oil-free makeup as normal. I want to stress that, because anything that has oil in it will counteract the effectiveness of Plexiderm. So put on oil-free makeup, and you're going to get up to 10 hours with the results, Rosie. That's another thing people love about this product.
Amazing. Okay, our last little set here, Ellen, Robin, Jill.
These are 3 different ladies again. This is a perfect example of how Plexiderm's new serum is working on all the key signs of aging. They had more than one issue they were dealing with. So it's not just the under eye bag. Again, it's the forehead lines, it's the crow's feet, it's those pesky laugh lines around your mouth, and also a real underappreciated part of your body that with aging is an issue, Rosie, loose skin under your neck. That's a big one. And the reason why this serum is so effective is because we've added peptides and collagen to the formula. So we're talking moisture in your skin, we're talking firmness. That's why you're seeing that nice, youthful, glowing look in the before and afters. And again, that's why this product is lasting so long, up to 10 hours with the results. As I stated earlier, that's because of the collagen we put in the new formula.
Let's talk about other reasons why Plexiderm has such a huge fan base.
Number one, for me, or at least from what I've heard, completely topical. No painful injections or expensive doctor visits. People don't have to go through that. There's 3 things in life I'm afraid of, Rosie. Number 1 is sharks. Number 2 are snakes. Number 3 are needles. So when you look online and they say, oh, you can do minimally invasive procedures. Anything that involves putting a needle into my face is majorly invasive. So the fact that we don't have to do that with this product is the number one thing people love about it the most. The fact that it works so quickly and the fact that it lasts so long. That's really what's differentiating this product.
Not only that, you guys always try to make it special. You have something special going on right now.
This is our biggest discount ever. So this is the Plexiderm 6 application trial pack. Okay, I'm holding it in my hand right here. You can see the 6 applications. So right now, Rosie, this is $14.95. Plus free shipping with a 30-day money-back guarantee from the day you receive it. But trust me, you're not going to need to use that. You're going to love this product. We also, if you want to just dive into getting a full bottle, we have 50% off a full bottle of Plexiderm, or maybe if you've been a user before and want to start up again. It's really 2 different options that are great. But this trial pack, if you just want to try to see how effective it'll be for you, it's very affordable. Again, $14.95 plus free shipping. The only way to get that deal is to call that 1-800 number that's right there on your screen. That's 1-800-727-6719. You're a phone call away from forgetting about the number on your birthday. You're going to look 10 to 20 years younger in just 10 minutes.
Makes it easy to say yes, Scott. We always appreciate your time and your charisma. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you as always, Rosie.
You can try Plexiderm today for just $14.95 with no automatic shipping by visiting plexidermtrial.com or by calling 1-800-727-6719. You will also receive free shipping by ordering right now. Again, go to plexidermtrial.com or call 1-800-727-6719. This segment is sponsored by Plexiderm. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Next up, we've got two friends from just down the road in Elgin that have a pretty cool story about how they brought their local businesses together to create a unique offering for customers. I promise you haven't heard of it before. Molly Alexander, founder of Owl Wine Bar and Home Goods, and Jennifer Reynolds, owner of ETX Travel, are here to tell us more. 34 years in Elgin, 17 years in Elgin, respectively. These ladies know their stuff. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Molly, we're going to start with you. All the fun things that people are seeing here on the table, they're courtesy of Owl Wine Bar. Talk to me about how you came to Elgin and started this little shop that's so precious.
In every small town, people want retail. And if you're living in a small town and you think you can do retail, it was something that my husband and I said, if not us, then who? So in 2012, we started the wine bar home goods store called The Owl. And we really wanted it to be the living room of the community where people could come in, shop, meet. In some cases, people have gotten married.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, it's
How
true.
sweet.
Yeah, but we really wanted this place that would provide the community living room and the ability to shop for great things, whether it's a couch, a piece of jewelry, a great hat, and also experience 80 different wines.
80 different wines, okay. Yeah, I'm obsessed with some of the things that are here on this table. I'm glad you said community living room. I think that's a really sweet idea. We're gonna get to it here a little bit more in just a second. But Jennifer, we gotta loop you in. So you are a friend of Molly's and you own ETX Travel. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, so ETX Travel is a small travel agency. We are right next door to the Owl Wine Bar. That's kind of where our story falls into place. And then my daughter-in-law, who is also a sommelier, worked for the Owl Wine Bar. So there's a lot of connections in there. But I wanted to start diving into the wine industry in my travels and taking people to experience the world with wine and bring that love together. So then me and Molly got together and they actually did a virtual wine tasting for Mendoza. Love their wine. Zuccardi right here is one of them. And she got with me and decided, let's do this trip. So I was like, I would love to do this trip.
Okay, so for the audience, a physical trip.
Yes.
Where we go to, is it Mendoza, Spain?
It's Mendoza, Argentina.
Argentina. Okay, there's
yes.
so many great wine growing regions and my geography is poor.
Yes, yes. And Mendoza is really known for their reds, for their Malbecs. Okay. And so that, again, family, my daughters love Malbec. So I was like, why not dive into the Malbec region? And then we've also got Iguazu Falls in there. Iguazu Falls is in the northern region of Argentina. It splits between Brazil and Argentina. And we've got a pre-tour option for that you can go and see the falls for a day. And then we take a flight and we get to Mendoza. We're doing the southern and northern region. So we're doing Entre Ciales in the northern region. We're staying on property at the wineries, doing the wine tours, doing the cellars, they're taking us on horseback ridings to a tasting with wines. And then, there's an e-bike tour. There's also a cooking class available. And then we're going to go south to Casa de Uco, which is at the base of the Andes Mountain in the Uco Valley. And we're going to be staying also at a winery there and doing the same thing. So,
whoa!
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even sound like you have to be like a wine fanatic. There are all these other things that you can enjoy.
Yes.
Horseback riding.
Yes.
Even just seeing like the countryside at the base of the Andes Mountains.
Yes. And the temperature is going to be between the 50s and 60s, and it's just going to be beautiful. And you said that about wine. I was not an avid wine drinker.
Okay.
I am just creating my palate for the drier wines, but I've also found that with food, I'm better at pairing. I can't just drink wine by itself. I want something sweet. But when you're pairing and you have the right foods, so this trip is starting that journey for me and for others who maybe would like to get into wine but aren't sure how to do it.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
And so since you guys have had 80 wines available, you've been curating your palates for a long time. What got you so excited about the idea of doing this trip?
Well, as Jennifer mentioned, during COVID, with the stores closed down, we had to do something to keep the business going.
Sure.
So our wine distributor, Lucy, who's amazing, said, let's start a virtual wine club and tour the world. So we called it Tour of the World with a Glass of Wine. And every other Friday night, we would enter the home of a winemaker around the world and learn about it.
So cool.
It was so cool. And literally this wine called Concreto from Zuccardi Wines changed everything. Mainly because it was the family who was with us that night, and the son, who's also a winemaker, created a new technology as an engineer about how to process the wine. So he made it out of concrete instead of steel or oak, which is typically how wine is fermented and made. And literally it tastes like the earth. There's something very special about this Malbec that you can taste the Uco Valley in it. And it's now in Michelin star restaurants, but we got to introduce it in Elgin first.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's why we're going to Mendoza.
And it's like the living room to a family's living room. And I can see how these are like, it's all this small stuff kind of marrying up together, which I really love. Okay, I do want to say that everything that you're seeing here is the sort of stuff that you can buy at Owl Wine Bar and Home Goods. Especially there's this cute little brand. They're telling me I gotta go, but it's so
this
sweet.
Is Katie Loxton.
Katie Loxton, y'all. It's a British brand, but it's like Kate Spade.
Kate Spade meets a great price point.
Love it. Okay, guys, you can sign up for that wine trip that we were mentioning in person. Now head to etx-travel.com to secure your spot. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Infinite Recovery. Infinite Recovery provides comprehensive care for addiction and mental health concerns. They offer tailored services to address both substance use disorders and mental health diagnoses. Executive Director Robin Lindemann and Medical Director Carlos Tirado are here to tell us more. We're happy to have them both in the studio. And Robin, we're going to start with you. Let's talk about what Infinite Recovery provides.
Infinite Recovery was founded in 2014. And it was founded by our owner and CEO, who's still CEO today. And he kept going through treatment, and he did not have high accountability sober living in Austin for young men. So what he decided to do was open up a sober living home. Since 2014, we have grown from a single outpatient group to a 45-bed detox facility in Cedar Park, which is licensed for 120 outpatient slots. And we're licensed in Buda for residential, and we have 80 beds there and 120 outpatient slots, and then 6 sober homes around the greater Austin area. In Infinite Recovery, what we do is we provide comprehensive treatment for mental health and substance use disorders.
That's wonderful. Okay, Dr. Tirado, I want to ask about how you address both mental health and addiction simultaneously, because they're both really big bears, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, thanks, Rosie, for having us. That was a great question. You know, a lot of times people believe that you can only do one thing or the other, right? You know, but you really can kind of walk and chew gum when you're trying to treat addiction and mental health problems. In fact, most of the time people need to have both conditions addressed because one typically feeds the other.
Right.
So for example, say a person gets into a depressive phase, they might be more likely to crave alcohol to kind of help them sleep or help them overcome some negative moods.
Robin, I want to hear about how someone can start the process of getting help for themselves. Maybe they've reached that point where they say, okay, it's time, I need to reach out for help. Or, you know, a loved one in someone's life.
Absolutely. The disease of addiction is very isolating. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of shame attached to it. So picking up the phone and making that first call can be very, very difficult. Our admissions team is trained to remove barriers that can include short-term disability issues with work, FMLA, HR issues, and really what we're trying to do is work with the client and work with the loved one together as a comprehensive treatment plan.
You all work so well with people to help overcome all of those barriers to getting people in treatment so that, you know, they can really get started.
I think it is wonderful what you both do. Thank you so much for your time today.
You bet.
To learn more about the admissions process and program options, go to infiniterecovery.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Infinite Recovery. This segment is sponsored by Corrective Health. Corrective Health out in Bee Cave can treat peripheral neuropathy in a natural way. Here to tell us more about this condition is Dr. Jared Bagley. Doctor, good morning to you. Let's talk about the actual definition of neuropathy.
So neuropathy occurs when the nerves are affected, usually causing numbness, tingling, and burning in the hands or feet, typically. Usually it's caused by the coatings, the myelin sheath around the nerves that actually becomes damaged, causing abnormal signals. Very similar to like your TV set. When you have a frayed wire Obviously, the TV is not going to work appropriately. Very similar in the nerves. As they become more damaged, the symptoms typically get worse.
Tell us about shockwave therapy that you use here and how it treats neuropathy.
Well, shockwave therapy is one of the regenerative therapies that we use in our neuropathy reversal protocols. And what it uses is highly focused sound waves to create microtrauma within the tissue, stimulates angiogenesis or blood supply regrowth. It also recruits stem cells, progenitor cells. It just speeds up the regeneration of the damaged tissue.
I'd like to hear what treatment looks like because it's super duper quick.
Yeah, it only lasts about somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes. We use a handheld device. It's non-invasive. And it's all natural, but ultimately what it does, it takes about like I said, 5 to 8 minutes, and we'll space that out about 4 to 6 weeks, and usually once per week throughout that time.
So you can get people feeling better pretty quick.
Usually pretty quick.
What other conditions can shockwave therapy treat while we're on the subject?
Well, just about any tissue that's damaged. It helps to stimulate the regeneration of that tissue. So things like back pain, knees, shoulder issues, plantar fasciitis, even carpal tunnel are some of the conditions that we treated with it and had very high success rates with those.
I hear you have a $49 special.
Yes, we do actually, and that includes the initial consultation with me. We'll sit down and discuss your health problems. We'll do a full exam and determine how far the nerve damage has gotten to determine whether or not you're a candidate for one of the treatment protocols. And that also includes that consult. We'll sit down and map out what that looks like, and it's tailor-made to each individual patient that comes in.
Most importantly, we want people to know this is progressive, so you want to see them sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. I always tell our patients, however we see you, that's the best it's ever going to be if you don't do anything about it, because it only is going to get worse. So obviously sooner is better in that situation.
Sounds good to me, doctor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate it.
Don't live in pain another day. Give Corrective Health a call at the number on your screen or go to correctivehealthatx.com and schedule your $49 neuropathy special. This segment is sponsored by Corrective Health.